Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Tom Talks. I know I haven't been online recently, but there's a reason. We've been working really hard here on LinkedIn to try and make sure that the platform is working and that you're enjoying the new experience. So we have made some changes recently. I know some of you may see this already, others will see it in the coming weeks and months. So we've been working really hard, listening, having direct feedback sessions with you, really trying to make sure that the enhancements are working as they're supposed to and that you're enjoying the experience, but also, and most importantly, making changes based on your feedback. So for those of you who have spoke to me before, thank you for those feedback sessions. They are valuable, and hopefully I can have more of them in the near future. So really, I've been getting a lot of questions on the why and what's changed. So I wanted to make a short video on just some of the small enhancements. There's a lot more coming, but if you're interested to see maybe what's changed and how do you navigate your way around the new platform, maybe check out the video after this. And like I said, if you don't see this change, you will see it soon. It's different for everybody, but reach out to me or your relationship manager on LinkedIn if you want to have a quick chat about when exactly it's going to change for you.
Hey, and the reason for this session is just a quick overview on LinkedIn's new recruiter tool. I suppose give you a little bit of an understanding as to the why, and also show you maybe some of the changes, some of the benefits, and let you know about some of the other enhancements that are coming down the road pretty soon. So just in regards to what's happening right now, so we are slowly rolling this out. So at the moment, I believe roughly 50 to 60% of LinkedIn's members see this new view. The idea is to make sure it's correct as we roll out this to new members. So I will speak at the end when you're moving and how you'll know, but just to let everybody know, at the moment we're at about 50 to 60%, and the goal is to have everybody using this platform, or this version of the platform I should say, by mid next year. So this is it. This is the first page you see when you log into the new tool. I suppose a little bit about the why first. So at all times, LinkedIn, we ask you for feedback. We ask our members for feedback. We constantly send out surveys looking for feedback, and it'll be different topics like why do you use LinkedIn and so on. And when it comes to using the recruiter tools, there was a lot of common themes. There was a lot of commonality between some of the answers. So we've incorporated that into some of the changes that we've made. And really, if I can sum up the changes, I suppose, in some simple terms, it would be to provide a better user experience for you. So less clicks, but also a lot more collaboration options. So as we can see, this is the first page I see when I log in. So I have, you can see my recent projects. Some of these are mine. Some of them have been shared with me. So when I mention collaboration, that's going to be a key talking point for today. So where you would start a search would be up the top of the page here. So start new search. The searches have not changed. So if you're unfamiliar, on the old LinkedIn recruiter platform, if I can call it the old version, there are 3 ways of searching. So number 1 would be you just type in a job title and you would get a drop-down list like this, and you select the relevant one. Number 2 would be Boolean logic, or as some people call it, advanced searching, but the correct word is Boolean logic, so software developer or that's still there as well. And then the last way of searching is via people's names. So what we would call your ideal candidate search or lookalike search. So those options are still available. We haven't changed those. So I can begin my search here. Enhancements that we made on this particular section is on the old tool, you would run your search, and then you would, you'd filter through your results page and you would create a project. Whereas now we're giving you the option to create a project from the beginning. So of course you can start the search from here, or if I go to projects and create new, which we'll do now together. So when I mentioned saving time in terms of clicks, this will be one of the ways. So let's just create a project here together. Today is, let's go test. Job title, let's just go with say, let's go with software developer, why not? Seniority doesn't really matter, but let's just go mid-senior. It doesn't matter at this point is what I should say. And now, make this project visible, so keep it on private or public. Now, when it says all members of LinkedIn demo, so this is the dashboard that I'm using, that's the name of it. That would be a different, you'd see a different name, so that just represents whatever the name of your dashboard is. And making it public means anybody with access to your dashboard, so a recruiter seat holder or a dashboard manager seat, and now a hiring manager seat, so we've also added that functionality, has access. So I'm just going to keep it private for the moment. We can see some insights here on the right hand side, so just a quick snapshot. And I'm going to create project. The reason I wanted to show you this way instead of just creating a search is, as you can see, it's navigated me to the search results page. So I've now created a project, and automatically it takes the information from the project I created and brings me into my results page. So there, another view into when I said less clicks, just making it that little bit easier. So this is the results screen. You'll notice it looks slightly different to the old version. So up the top of the page, the spotlights are missing. So spotlights meaning open to new opportunities, engage with your talent brand. So they have not been removed, they're just now on the left-hand side. On my search, or my filters, here it is, spotlights. So in terms of some changes as well that we made, I'm just going to increase this search by adding in another title, so bear with me. In terms of changes that we've made, so you'll notice, I'm going to begin, let's work our way down the page. So at the very top here, you can see there's 45,000 people in this search. And also you will see recommended matches right here. And I want to concentrate on recommended matches for the moment. And I don't think there will be any recommended matches now. Let me show you, because I've just created the search, it will make more sense now in a second. I'm just going to go into a different project that I created a couple of days ago, which will have some recommended matches in it. This will make sense in a moment. Okay, so here's my initial search, 4.5 million people. Not a very detailed search, as you can imagine. And here's my recommended matches. So for me, and the reason I want to concentrate on this for the moment, is recommended matches for me is probably the best enhancement that we've made in the new version of the tool. It is connected to your initial search, but also separate. And it is a maximum of 25 profiles. So we can see here that I have 25 profiles in here. You will only see recommended matches after you create a project. So after it's been saved, then you will see the recommended matches option, and overnight you will see profiles appearing. So that's why the project we just created has nothing, but if I check tomorrow, there will be some profiles there. So what recommended matches is it is a learning section from your search. And what I mean by that is I'm going to randomly just add some of these profiles to my pipeline. So those of you who use LinkedIn Recruiter Tool, you'll be familiar with pipeline. Everybody in your pipeline is basically who you want to contact. So I'm just going to click on save beside this lady. This lady, I'll click save as well. We can see they've been added here. I'll remove this lady. I'll remove then one more. I'll remove this lady. So right now I'm left with 2021 results. So what this section of the tool does is LinkedIn will learn from my preferences. So it will look at the 2 people that I added in here, and it will look at the people that I've removed and put into this section. And overnight, it will change the people in this section of the tool. So it will change, not all of them, but it may change some of these 21, And overnight then if I check tomorrow, I will see 25 profiles. So what LinkedIn is doing is learning from my preferences. It is looking at the people that I've added into this section and maybe something that they have in common, or if they share maybe industry experience or particular job titles, and it is giving me more like-minded individuals, people who share the same experience. So these profiles will constantly change overnight based on your activity. So it's literally learning from the people that you're contacting, the people you're adding to your pipeline, and giving you more people that match those individuals. So the reason I think that this is the best, one of the best, or if not the best new enhancement is, in theory, LinkedIn is going to learn from my actions. So, the more I use the tool, and particularly if it's a job title, if it's that I'm constantly running the same type of search for, in theory, then when I check this section of my search, all 25 will be a perfect match. And just before somebody asks me, are these 25 profiles taken from the 4.5 million? No, they're additional. They'd be like the top ones, and that's why they're being seen. So every search you do, once you create the project, you're going to see recommended matches. So I hope that's made sense. The reason I like to highlight this and spend some time on it is recently I was asked a question about this section where a young lady who's using the new experience said to me that she doesn't know where she left off because LinkedIn keeps changing the profiles. And basically I just have to explain what I just explained to you. So the reason that we're changing the profiles is because LinkedIn is learning from the actions that you're taking and removing people who we feel don't match. So the skill sets don't match the people that you're contacting, and giving you more profiles who do match it. So I think that's pretty exciting, and more hopefully you'll see the benefits of it. Now as we scroll down, I just want to highlight my search results for the moment. You'll notice beside this search result, so Java developer, I have this little option. If I highlight that, it gives me a drop-down list. When it comes to LinkedIn, and when it comes to just the working environment of today, I suppose, people can often create their own job titles. There's often more than one way of saying you work in a particular field or a particular job title. If you think about people working in sales, there's probably about 20 different ways to say that you work in sales. So with this new version, what we're trying to do is help you with that. So I ran a search for just a software developer or software engineer, and we can see that search has included 5 separate job titles. So LinkedIn is basically looking at the data we have and trying to expand my search for me. And then the logic is I will have a look at what LinkedIn has done, and if I don't want anybody junior, for example, I will remove. So you're not going to see this on every job title search that you have, but you will see it for the majority. It's just a case of what the job title is, and if we have enough data points to give you more suggestions, basically. Okay, so I hope that's made sense so far. I'm just going to click on this lady's profile. Once again, when it comes to making changes, it was a lot of common themes that we received from you, so a lot of common feedback. And another one would be that you didn't want to keep opening new profiles in new tabs, so like I've just done now. So what we've decided to do is slide in profile view. So we can see my search is still in the back, and now this lady's profile has opened up in front of me. So you can still open the profiles in a new tab, as you can see I've done at the top here, or you can now have the profile slide into view. So hopefully that's made the process a little bit cleaner in regards to where you are when you're looking at profiles. And you'll notice some interesting points now on this lady's profile. All of these options, so projects and attachments, recruiting activities, we want to make it more prominent on people's profiles in regards to what activity has been done. So it's very easy to see. So this lady is in one project. She hasn't been contacted. There's no feedback or attachments or any other activity. So it's very easy to see maybe if my colleagues have been in touch with this lady and you know where she is on the process. Also, if I go to message this lady, you'll notice this little globe icon on every message that you send. Another enhancement we've made is now you can make your messages public, meaning everybody on your dashboard will be able to read messages that you sent to this person and also their replies. So you can read the full conversation. So in the old version of the tool that wasn't possible. You would have certainly seen maybe if somebody had been sent a message and then maybe if somebody was kind enough to leave notes on the profile, you could read the notes and see what the message entailed. However, now you will be able to see the messages and everything that it included. However, a quick point on this, you'll notice mine by default is set to anyone in the organization. When you are using this, it will be by default set to private. So you will need to change this. I just want to make that clear. So if you use this option, just highlight this again. So when you're sending a message and you open this option, yours will be defaulted set to private. So you will need to change it. And you can change it to people just to just have access to the project, or just simply, when it says anyone in your organization, that means anyone on your dashboard. So recruiter seat holders, dashboard manager seat holders, etc. So it's just anybody on the dashboard. So once again, that's something that's been asked of us for quite some time. And then if I could just finish up on this section. Underneath notes, so notes are not new. What is new is now you can tag your colleagues. So you can actually tag one of your colleagues and say, hey, check this profile out. And that person needs access to the platform firstly, so they need to have a recruiter seat. But you can tag them and they'll receive notifications and you can have a conversation. And once again, if we think about the collaboration piece I was referring to, make it private or make it visible to everybody. So at every turn, every action that you take, we're trying to encourage you to collaborate with everybody on your dashboard. That's made sense so far. In terms of everything else on this section, it's all pretty much the same. All of your filters are still here. If I was to click on advanced search, I would still see all of the filters from the old tool. You'll notice up the top of this project again, it's private. I'm being prompted if I want to add somebody else in. So once again, collaboration oversight. Let me just show you a few more enhancements that we've made. So I'm just going to click into the pipeline stage. Let me just add some profiles in there first. So I'm going to click on Save beside a few of them. Okay, so here's my pipeline. We've made a lot of changes to the pipeline stages. What you would have noticed on the old version of the tool would be, beside the person's name, you would see any action that they've taken. They've been contacted, so you could change their statuses to contacted and replied. But we wanted to tidy that up and make it a little bit easier for you to really understand where each individual is in the hiring process. So for example, if I was to select this guy and I actually sent him a message, automatically he will move to the contacted version or contacted folder. Now, I'm not going to send him a message, so I'm going to manually move him there to show you. So now he is visible in the contacted. So all of these are now folders, whereas in the old version they weren't folders, they would just be beside their name where they are in the pipeline stage. So we had 3 profiles in total. Now we have 2 in this section and we have 1 in contacted. If this person replies, then they will automatically move to the reply folder. So just trying to make your life a little bit easier and help you understand, particularly if you're working on a big project, you've got a lot of profiles in here. Sometimes it's hard to track your workload and how to track kind of where you left off. So using the folder option, and also where LinkedIn is automatically going to move the candidates through different stages for you in the early part, so contacted and replied. Hopefully that will make your life once again that little bit easier, so maybe just a few less clicks involved. Okay. Some other changes we've made, and I just want to shift gears and move to the jobs dashboard for a moment. So some of the enhancements that we've made on jobs, and I'm just going to go through the post job workflow. So when you're posting a job, when applicants apply for jobs, now they will automatically go to a project. So you can actually connect a project not only to a search, but to a job. So let's connect it to the one that we just created together, which was this one. This is pretty new. None of this has changed. We've added remote jobs. So you're now going to be able to post remote jobs. So that's something that has been asked of us for some time. So we'll have no fixed abode. Hopefully that will help you with your recruiting efforts. But like I said, that's been an ask, and that was very much a common theme in the responses that we received before undertaking these changes and actually making them. This is one of them. And another enhancement that we made, if I can just get to the next page, we've now added pre-screening questions. So on the old version of jobs, we would often get asked, people applying from outside of the country, and maybe it's not a country that you can offer visas to, or it's just not a company that you want to offer visas to, or security clearance and so on. So now you can add those pre-screening questions. Just a quick point on this. Even if the person, let's say, fails the screening questions, or they don't have the visa, or they don't have the necessary experience, they can still apply for the job. So we cannot prevent people from applying for jobs. LinkedIn is all about connecting people to opportunity. So we can't prevent people from applying. But when they do apply, we'll very quickly be able to filter between who's answered yes and who's answered no, depending on the pre-screening question that you've actually asked. And then lastly, if I can get to the next section, you'll notice this little option, skills assessment. So on your own personal profiles today, you will see, if you scroll down to the skills section on your profile, you will see you can undertake a test. And the test is in reference to skills that you have listed on your profile. So just a short overview into what it is. When it's on your personal profile, it's just an extra layer of credibility, I suppose. If you pass this test, it is not visible anywhere in your profile. But through the recruiter tool here, you can see people who have passed the test. And the test is in reference to the skills you have listed. The reason I want to mention it in terms of the jobs piece, when people apply for your jobs, or before they apply, you can ask them to complete a skills assessment. So for example, if this was a job for a Java developer, you could ask them to complete a skills assessment in JavaScript and coding. Once again, it's optional, and you can see it here. It consists of 15 to 20 multiple choice questions. And the idea is that they should be generic industry standard questions based on the skill that somebody has listed on their profile. So it's not to trip somebody up, but if they have to list it on their profile, it means they should have that skill. Okay, let's move on now then. I'm going to just show you, this obviously is a fake LinkedIn dashboard, but I believe we have some jobs. I just need a job with some applicants. Okay, so when people now apply for jobs, you can send them rejection letters. And in fact, you can do it at bulk. So, for example, if you're adding pre-screening questions, see here, sort by screening requirements, so people who maybe answered yes or no to particular questions, and let's say you want to highlight the people who answered no, then send them all a rejection. You can also edit this text. You can write whatever you wish. So reject and notify. The section up here is just for you and your reporting. The person receiving the message will not know, for example, if I selected candidates that did not meet the basic qualifications, the candidate won't know this information. That is just for my own internal reporting. So again, the reason we brought in the option to reject is because that's one of the common themes we kept on receiving in terms of enhancements and improvements that we could make would be the ability to actually send rejection emails. If you want to look at the stats, so I mentioned when you're rejecting, you can select why you're rejecting somebody. It would be under this section. So show me stats, and it would be just about this job. So they're the main changes that we've made around the jobs interface. And then lastly, if I could just leave talking about some of the enhancements we made on reports, because this is also going to give you a unique insight. So if you have a dashboard manager seat, or if you have admin rights, it means you will have access to run reports and view reports. So you can see the amount of influenced hires your recruiters have got. And what an influenced hire is, as it says here, an influenced hire is somebody who's interacted with any sort of paid solution that you have. So if somebody has sent an in-mail, so if a recruiter sent an in-mail to somebody and then they've changed within a specific time frame, maybe they've changed their employer to whatever company it is you work for, we would consider you to have influenced their decision because you've had a conversation. Or if you have any of our media products, once again, these will be people who are reacting to those media products. As we scroll down the page, we can see it gives you an overview of the in-mail response rates for everybody on the dashboard and your job slot utilization. So for those of you who have job slots, if you have 10, for example, and only 5 of them are posted right now, you would see 50%. So it's a great way really of keeping track of the activity and exactly what's on your dashboard and knowing where you are at any given time. So that's really it for today. Just a short and quick overview into some of the enhancements that we've made. I mentioned at the beginning, I'll talk about when this is going to happen for you. So it will not be a shock when you're changing to this. Firstly, you will receive a notification from the LinkedIn team, so either myself or your relationship manager or the LinkedIn marketing team. And also on your own recruiter tool, so the own version of the recruiter tool, you will see a countdown timer, and that timer will start at 30 days. So when the 30 days start, you will see that countdown timer. None of your information, none of your data, none of your projects, none of your in-mails, none of that is lost. Everything is transferred over to the new version of the tool. So if there's projects you're working on, they would be underneath projects. If you have in-mails, all of your in-mails will still be there. So no data will be lost. If you do have any further questions on this, please feel free to reach out to me or to your relationship manager, and I'd be more than happy to help you. Thank you for listening today. Bye-bye.
Hey Natalia, tell me about New Recruiter and Jobs.
New Recruiter and Job is an extraordinary update of an existing LinkedIn Recruiter. If you want to learn more, talk to Thomas.
So tell me about New Recruiter and Jobs.
New Recruiter and Job is the future of recruiting and jobs.